So, Mark, did you see the scene over at Omnia Day Club? Matcha, yoga. What the hell is going on in 2026? What happened to peeing in the pool and drinking all day?
Yeah, I hate this. Like I literally hate this. I don't know what is going on here. I don't know why you have a day club and then you turned it into like a yoga studio with blasters and people like, oh, we don't want to be hung over. No, save that for Santa Barbara. This is Vegas. This is over the top. This is debauchery. That's what built this city. Keep it out of here.
Okay, boomer. So happy Wednesday, everyone. And it's hot in Las Vegas, as we all know. But what's also hot is the use of AI to recreate the history. And a lot of times that is crazy, right? You see all this slop everywhere. But when somebody who loves Vegas history tries to do a project to recreate it, we get something special. And that's what Summa Corp did, working with some partners to create 60 years of Caesar's Palace in 100 seconds. And it is incredible to watch. I mean, I watched it a few times, watching the property come together, and you can absolutely see why it's such a maze now.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You can see how it's hodgepodge put together. You see the clearness of it when it's, starting out. And even when they added a little bit to it, it just all makes sense. And you're back off the road. You can see it clearly. It's not built on top of each other. It's really kind of a cool look at it. And I wish we would have got to grow up experiencing that a bit. And then you see, like, especially when they add the last two towers and it's just all kind of on top of each other, you don't have a good perspective of what you're seeing and how much stuff is going on there. But what I really noticed is the Sphere started at Caesars.
Yeah, that was the OmniMax Theater, which sat out there and was replaced by the Coliseum. I think it sat there from the late 70s to 2000. I did have to look that up. I'm not going to pretend that I knew that, but I do remember how that all looked as a kid. That was very much a part of the front of the building and the architecture. And then, of course, we always talk about those moving walkways that came in. And you even see like late 80s, I think 87, if I remember right from the video, when they built the rotunda that they say they're going to tear out, that we hope they save. But it is so neat to see all the pieces. And this is one property that grew in so many different phases.
Yeah, and it's cool that even back in the 70s, Las Vegas was flooding.
Well, it was worse then. There's no flooding today compared to what it was. So things are getting better in the desert.
Except for at the link.
Yeah. No. Well, you can't fix everything, all right? And you can't fix bedbugs, Mark. We love talking about bedbugs. We can plug our video from 7, 8, 10 years ago. I don't know how many times we're going to talk about this, but the Review Journal had an article talking about bedbugs in Las Vegas, and it says 6 strip hotels have had bedbugs in the last few years. Is that bad? So they talk about Bellagio, January 2024, Cosmo in 2024, Resorts World in early 2024, Strat early 2025, and then Horseshoe and Caesar's Palace a little later in 2025. That's it. You would think that there'd be so many more cases of this given how many hotel rooms we have.
Well, at least the ones that they have admitted to. I don't know. But it is kind of crazy that it's only that amount. And then you also look at like the dates. It's only like within a couple days. So I'm guessing it was in one room or 2 rooms. It wasn't like a mass epidemic or anything like that. Like they caught it, they took care of it, and they handled it. And I think that part of that is they're better at prevention than they used to be. And then another part of it is that they are taking care of it in a quicker fashion than it used to happen. And I think you throw this on there every year just so you can bring up that horrible bed bug checking video that we did at Harrah's in New Orleans, but well, now Caesars. But no, it's something I still do. I check every time just to be safe. I've yet to find something, knock on wood, but I have family that has had this issue. They picked up bed bugs from a hotel and brought them home, and it was like crazy what they had to go through. So I'm over the top. But we've also talked about the dogs that they bring up, and they go through and sniff the rooms really quickly, and they can tell you if there's one bed bug in an entire room. So things like that have made it a lot easier to keep a lid on it, I think.
Yeah, I think Wynn uses the dogs, and some other high-end hotels do as well. I have to think like a major outbreak of it would be hugely expensive for them. So it is in their best interest to sort of keep it contained. And yeah, like a single room is probably a guest brings them with them, and they're very hard to get rid of. I also have had family members dealing with it. This Review Journal article does have great tips on what to do, but it's basically what you did in that video. So everybody should go watch the video of you. As a reminder, we still have our MTM Vegas merch available, select sizes on the shirts, the hoodies, and those hats, those sexy, sexy hats. Go ahead and head over to mtmvegas.shop. Pick up your MTM Vegas merch. Thanks in advance for supporting us, watching the channel. So one of the things that's changed in Las Vegas over the last 10 years or so is Airbnb and vacation rentals coming into the city. And I guess it's changed the entire country, really, and a lot of markets and stuff like that. But In a place like Las Vegas, where you have these giant casinos with thousands of hotel rooms, there's a little bit of protectionism happening. And this county has basically instituted all these rules for licensing of Airbnb properties and, rules for how close they can be to resorts and all of that sort of stuff. And there's been sort of a back and forth on a challenge. And a lot of the Airbnb hosts have sued the county. And while it's still in litigation, it seems like they might win. So what does the county do? They're going to go right to Airbnb and they say, hey, we're not licensing these people and we're going to fine you for listing their properties on your exchange. So Clark County fighting against vacation rentals.
Are you trying to say the casinos are lobbying against, other people? No way. That doesn't.
The casinos have no power in Las Vegas. No, none at all.
No, and I get some people love Airbnb because you get a little bit more space. Sometimes it's a better deal. And it has been cool, and it's opened up staying in places that you normally couldn't stay, that they don't have a lot of hotel coverage. Vegas is obviously not one of those, but a lot of small towns and things like that have been dealing with this issue. So it's not just a Vegas thing, it's kind of across the country, and they're pushing back a bit. One, because people that live by the Airbnbs don't love it if there's somebody new there all the time causing a problem. Another problem is it's taking houses off the market, driving up prices, and kind of making an issue with having enough available for people that live in the area, and pricing them out a bit. So these are all, as it matured and the growth into this industry, we see those issues. So a lot of towns are dealing with the same thing. And I could see Las Vegas saying there's only so many licenses going out and you have to be licensed to be on Airbnb. And I think that's a fair thing to do. And if Airbnb is listing them without showing that proof, then that is on Airbnb. So I could see them going after them, but there should be strict enforcement too. Like if you get 2 claims against you for negative or abuse or loud noises, whatever it be, however they want to do it, you lose your license and then it goes to somebody else. I think that's kind of the middle ground where something like this will end up.
Yeah, and there's a lot of condos like on the Strip. Think of the Veer Towers, things like that, that are sort of like very much in the tourist areas. And then, of course, there's Airbnbs in normal areas, just like in other cities. I think there's 16,000 around the Las Vegas Valley, which is a lot. And
Crazy.
the fines, if they get away with this, is 500 for the first and then 1,000 for each additional. So you have to think with Airbnb, that's going to add up really quickly if you have like thousands of units that aren't there. So this is a war, but it's still in court. So we will see how that all settles out. It does seem like the judge hinted that the owners would win and not the county. Are you an Airbnb person? Are you a hotel person? Do you like these vacation rentals when coming to Las Vegas? We don't hear a lot of that in the comments.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised it's such a big thing in Las Vegas. And maybe that's more people not coming to visit the Strip. They're coming to visit family or just, doing hikes and want to take advantage of the weather. I don't know that like the Vegas visitor that's watching this show would be an Airbnb person as much. I feel like they'd be more hotel comps, all those types of things. And I'm a hotel person overall. I like having someone that I can talk to at any time, any hour if I have an issue. Every time I've stayed in Airbnb, there's been an issue and I can't get it corrected in a way that I need to, or I don't want to bother them because I know it's just a person that owns this house. I don't want to call them at like 1 in the morning and be like, hey, this isn't working. You kind of suck it up, where at a hotel, somebody's getting paid to be there and they'll take care of it. So I'm totally a hotel person.
Same here. I don't want to have to clean the dishes on the way out, clean everything, do the laundry, all that crazy stuff you see on social media. But I have done it. I think they have a purpose. I don't think Las Vegas is where I would do it, but chime in down below. Now we have to talk about one of your favorite subjects, Mark, frying eggs on the sidewalk. I think you mentioned it so much on the show that Corey Leviton had to write an article about it, disproving the myth about this. And he goes into all kinds of details about why you really can't fry an egg on the sidewalk in Las Vegas, but maybe on blacktop, people use pans sometimes to make it work. And it's a fascinating article. I didn't know a lot about this, but people have actually studied this phenomenon. And it turns out that concrete can't get hot enough to fry an egg all the way through.
I'm glad they're doing like the best work in the business. Like I'm glad somebody took the time to figure this all out. No, I always envisioned like you're out in Red Rocks walking around and you just crack it right on the, I think Bear Grylls has done this in a video before. So it probably would work out in Vegas, out in the desert. You just crack it on a rock and cook it up and there you go. Good to go.
Yeah, he said concrete gets the hottest is like 170 degrees, so it doesn't retain enough heat, but blacktop could, and I'm sure, yeah, certain materials could. But there you go, myth busted. You can't fry an egg on a Vegas sidewalk. Love it.
Blacktop, though. There you go.
Mark, always looking for the caveat, always looking for the loophole.
Is there some blacktop outside your house so we can do this live?
Sure. I'm sure my neighbors will love it. As a reminder, we have our Patreon. We do an unhinged after show every week, things we can't talk about on YouTube. Lots of fun, other bonus content there as well. Patreon.com/MTM Vegas for all the information. Thanks to everyone in our Vegas community.
Just updated the guide over there too.
So it's earnings call season, and there's a lot of earnings calls going on, including GLPI, the landowner of the A's stadium site and the future, hopefully, Bally's Las Vegas. And I won't go into a lot of details. They're working with Bally's in a lot of different markets, including Chicago, working with them on the New York bid. So it's interesting how intertwined these companies are. But basically, this is what they said about Bally's in Las Vegas. Bally's is coming close, I think, to a more concrete plan for some of the critical infrastructure that needs to support the stadium. By that, I mean access ways, the podium, utility conduits, things like that. So your power plant, Mark, they're not going to have glow-in-the-dark baseballs. There may be an opportunity for us to invest more in that property. We'll take a look at that when the time comes. I don't think we're prepared at the present time to commit anything over the $125 million, and we'll continue to work with Bally's and see if that makes sense. So they're not going to come in with more money, but they say, hey, Bally's is going to build the power plant. It's so weird that they have to build all this infrastructure, but then they're not going to have a hotel or a lot of the other stuff to support it. So where's the profit going to come from?
Yeah, it doesn't make a ton of sense, and I'm kind of surprised the stadium wouldn't have done this portion of it, or at least been intertwined there. And maybe that's because they're just renting the land too, and they're building their thing, and they say that's not our responsibility. But it's more crazy that they're like, oh, they kind of have a plan. They're getting closer to having a plan. They have plans of a plan, and we don't really have any of that nailed down yet. Aren't you supposed to be already building this or starting very soon? This just kind of blows my mind. It reminds me of the county being like, oh yeah, we were supposed to have a fire truck in the tunnels, but we haven't really given them the specs in 3 years of what we want it to look like.
So let's talk about something more quirky and interesting. We like to show bathrooms, high limit bathrooms. We talk about those all the time. And I don't know, this is the MGM Mansion Casino bathroom, shared on X by Puffer31S. And I was expecting something nicer. Am I wrong here? I don't know. It just didn't look all that mansion-y to me.
I mean, it was probably nice in like the 90s. That's kind of what it looks like. It looks clean. It looks private, which is a plus, but it's nothing over the top. I could have sworn this would be Mark Meltzer because there's so many 360 spins in the video that I almost vomited everywhere.
Is Meltzer known for his big spins? I usually see his videos. I mean, I usually see his pictures, but yeah, I mean, you got to have your own artistic style when you're doing these things.
There you go. One is good. You can stop at one.
But yeah, it does kind of look like the 90s. It looks nice. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but mansion in exclusive space. It was built in the 90s. I worked there at MGM Grand during the construction, and it's a cool place. A lot of people dream of going in there and can never get inside.
It does have mouthwash. There's a selling point.
So from one fancy place to another, the Vinyl Room is opening August 8th. That is the former Foundation Room at Mandalay Bay, and there are some previews that we've seen, so we can get some looks inside as to what it looks like, all of the vinyl everywhere, but we also got the tiers for membership. So to back up, this is not going to be only membership. You can still get reservations for the public, just like before, but they will have 4 levels of membership: a social membership at $2,500 a year, a social elite membership at $5,000, signature black is $10,000, and then a limited founders membership is $15,000. And I will throw up on screen a little bit of what's included, but I'll also put a link. Chris Holmes shared that. He's the first one I saw share that. $2,500 seems a little low for a social club. So I could see, younger people kind of being into that. You get priority reservations, you get access to the members only lounge. And then as you go up, it adds a ton of other exclusive benefits for the fancy people in the world.
Yeah, and you get discounts on drinks too, which is kind of nice. And then if you go to the next tier, I think you get some reward credits. You get MGM status, low tier status. I think Pearl, but you also get free parking. If you go up even more, you get VIP free parking. So I think that if you use it enough, it could make a lot of sense, especially for business people that live in the Las Vegas area that are entertaining clients, or they're coming in and staying on the strip, so they have to go take them out to dinner and stuff. I think this makes a ton of sense. So I think it'll be really successful in that vein, more so than just people wanting to have premium access, which will also sell some of these. But I really do think like the business person that has a lot of meetings on the strip, this makes a ton of sense and will do really well.
Yeah, some of the perks are like House of Blues floor seats and you know, like you said, the discount, but also the top tier getting you platinum MGM status. So 15K, but you can buy your way, I guess, to platinum. And that comes with beach access at Mandalay Bay, a lot of stuff. And to your point, you have to be at Mandalay Bay a lot for this to make sense. But if that is your jam, then I think this is probably not a bad deal. And to speak to the venue itself, I think it looks nice. I think they did a good job on changing it and giving it a cool feel and look that was very different than what Foundation Room was.
Yeah, you make a great point. I forgot to bring that up, that you do get access to the pool area, which is kind of cool if you live in the area and you really enjoy that pool and you just want to go hang out there. This is a way to get that.
And it's a institution. You know, we have all these other membership clubs. You have, you know, Zero Bond, you have the Poodle Room, you have these other ones, but this is the OG for all the fancy people in town
And the most affordable.
Yeah, I was thinking that they're probably going to sell a lot of those $2,500 social memberships, which I think a lot of people watching the show probably thinks that's absolutely nuts. But for the right person who's out there all the time, like you say, the discounts, like you say, some of the stuff, I do think it's funny that with your $2,500 membership, you get Pearl status. So you can at least get you free self-parking.
Hey, back off. I'm Pearl over here.
I mean, the hope is that you would gamble and get more. I don't know, but let us know what you guys think about the Foundation Room. Do you like what that was? Are you happy to see Vinyl Room there? A flagship sort of location, very famous Las Vegas location, opening back up. Frying eggs on the sidewalk. A wellness club at a day club in Las Vegas. What has happened in 2026? Let us know about what you think about all of it down in the comments. We do 2 shows a week, and we'll be back on Friday with another show. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you next time.
Have a good week, everybody.
I'm sure my neighbors will love it.
Yeah. Bring in the birds. Cannibalism.